A couple of months ago, I made a welding table out of some scrap metal that I had laying around here, and I basically built that table to the specifications of what scrap metal I had laying around. Now, as I went along, the plans for that table changed because I had planned on it being a completely smooth surface, but then it changed up to where I had some slots cut into 3/4 of the table and then added a smooth surface as well. And as I've used it over the past few months, there's been a few problems with it that I'm going to try to fix today. And I also am going to try to add a few things. Now, this table wasn't meant to be just put up against the wall like I had it. So now that I'm clearing space out of my garage, I'm also going to try to move the table to a different location to where I can access the whole table instead of just the front side of the table. On the bottom, I placed some expanded metal and where I wanted my welders to set, and eventually I'm going to get an AC/DC TIG welder as well. Where I wanted those welders to set, I put some plate down there to give the welders a surface to set on. And where I placed them plates is probably not the best location because it's right below where I'm doing majority of my welding.
I've got my feet in the mud and you don't realize how with a walk down the alley you got me twice. Caught my eye, caught my hunger, and I'm caught in half. And now I'm stuck in the mud till you realize. Oh, I can see the bright from the sky in the morning light. Light from the sky burns, and you see me come around from the other side. Come on and set the light in me, the light in me. You ought to know I get pretty messed up in your sight. You know I'm already with you, treat me right. No, I'm as steady as a shaking light. You know it's real, you know it's real. Can see the bright from the sky in the morning light. Light from the sky burn.
The first major thing that I wanted to do here was I wanted to move the plates that I had above this expanded metal from one side to the other to get it away from the slots that I have cut here where I'm going to be doing most of my welding. So I just cut where the welds were. I just tacked it in. Now I did weld the corners pretty good, but I just cut them with a grinder, pried it up with my pry bar. It popped right up. I cleaned it up, put it back down on this side, and I tacked this a little more securely, and I welded the corners good again. And this time I tried to practice on some of the stick welding that I've been practicing on, but the rod that I was using, the 7018 1/8, I struggled to do that weld. I really probably needed like a 6013 3/8 rod to do that weld, but I made do with what I had. and I made it work. Now, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I did make it work. It'll stay. This is just a plate to set my welders on. Now I have this side free to anything that I'm welding can just fall straight down to the floor or onto anything that I have on the bottom of this table, and I'll try to keep this area clear, especially if anything flammable or anything. When we left off last night, I just finished moving the plates from one side to the other on the bottom, and then I had to go take care of some other stuff. So today we're gonna finish this up. We're gonna add a few little modifications to it. I'm gonna put a little shelf in and then a few other tiny little things, hooks and whatnot. So we'll get this done today, then we'll move on to another project around the garage. So now you can see where having a plasma cutter would have helped me right there. I mean, I hate having to cut with a grinding wheel. I just used a whole cut-off wheel just to cut a couple little strips that I'm gonna use as a mount for the expanded metal. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut another couple pieces of 3/16 plate, and I'm gonna cut those probably about 6 inches, and I'm just gonna cut those straight across. They'll be 6-inch plates, and then this little piece will come down on a 90 on the bottom of it. The expanded metal will sit on top of that. And what I'm gonna do is get up under here, measure what I have right here, and the actual little shelf will mount to my square tubing that I already have here. Then what I'll do is I'll take a couple pieces of scrap that I have off here and weld those on as tabs to mount the shelf to. So it's just gonna mount directly up to the bottom. Now hopefully soon I can get a plasma cutter, because I do enjoy doing stuff like this, but it is hard for me to be able to obviously have to do this, and it's expensive. Every cutoff wheel that I'm wasting, then I'm gonna have to replace and buy another one. But while doing this, this also gave me the idea for another project, which I was planning on doing at some point, and I may go ahead and do it, but it may be at a later date. I'm gonna make a removable mount for this little vise. Now I do have my big vise, and it's attached to my big table. So what I may end up doing is just making a removable mount for this, and then I'll make something to where if I need to use my big vise on here, I can use that as well. But that'll be at a later date, and that'll just be something out of scrap metal, like all of this is. This is all out of scrap metal. So I think that that's pretty much it for now. I mean, I put that shelf in there. I think it's gonna be more functional now. I'm gonna be able to put my stick electrodes and anything else I may wanna put right there. I'm probably gonna go ahead and run another little piece of flat stock or something along the front of it just to try to make it look a little crisper and to try to keep me from maybe catching onto the expanded metal when I'm trying to slide something up in there. We'll see, but overall, I think it's pretty much done. I moved the plates over. Now I can stop slag and debris from hitting the top of my welder. Now the welder will still be exposed a little bit to a couple slots, so what I may end up doing is taking another piece of flat stock and just sticking it up in between, maybe angling it away from the welder to where if debris hits that, it'll hit that, then roll away from the welder. Maybe not, but I might fill I really don't want to fill the slots in. I like the slots, I like the functionality of the slots, so I'll keep it like that, but I also don't want to affect that functionality by putting the piece of flat stock in there. So I think that today turned out to be a pretty good day. I'll probably go ahead and start something else, and maybe I'll bring you along for that too. If you want to see the video of me building this welding table, some good entertainment, click this video right here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, there's a round button right here. If you want to see more projects, tips, tool reviews, and more. Till next time, stay real.